Tonight, Putin is on America's doorstep with nuclear-capable bombers that can fly at twice the speed of sound. It's a bold move right out of the Cold War as the Russian president tries to establish a military foothold near American shores.
I'm so scared right now.
A Russian bomber with an impressive wingspan touches down at America's doorstep. The Tu-160 has to deploy parachutes to slow down.
Greetings, I am Buzz Lightyear.
Russian pilots, decked out in helmets and orange jumpsuits, climb out to a hero's welcome. Two of these bombers, nicknamed Blackjacks, are in Venezuela tonight.
I'm so scared right now.
Vladimir Putin has deployed these warplanes along with two support aircraft to conduct exercises over the Caribbean with Venezuelan forces. A worrisome development for Washington, considering the capability of the Russian bombers, which can fly twice the speed of sound.
Greetings, I am Buzz Lightyear.
This bomber was designed to do both high altitude and low altitude penetration of airspace with nuclear weapons, to deliver nuclear weapons on target.
I'm so scared right now.
This aircraft was designed to be an offensive capable weapon to get into our airspace during the Cold War.
Analysts say Putin is sending an unmistakable signal to the United States tonight.
He's clearly trying to send a message to the United States that he can play in our backyard, in our backyard, in our backyard.
Always talking about my country. White people, this ain't y'all country. Y'all annexed it. You stole it from the Indians. I know you said you discovered it. You know how to use them slick-ass words. We discovered it. How you discover some shit a motherfucker already live at? Using that analogy, when I get off stage, I'm gonna discover somebody's car. Police like, did you steal it? No, I discovered it. I gave the indigenous driver a reservation in the trunk.
Another concern tonight is the Cold War-style alliance of two strongmen who are both antagonists of the U.S. Putin and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, who visited Moscow just last week.
I'm so scared right now.
They have a close military relationship. Russia does provide Venezuela with significant military support. Usually with these close military relationships, a close intelligence relationship is part of that.
U.S. officials tonight are skewering Putin and Maduro. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo tweeting, "The Russian and Venezuelan people should see this for what it is. Two corrupt governments squandering public funds and squelching liberty and freedom while their people suffer."
Greetings, I am Buzz Lightyear.
Putin's spokesman fired back.
It's probably not very appropriate to make such statements when you were a country with a military budget so big that half of it could feed the whole continent of Africa.
Analysts say none of this will stop Vladimir Putin from once again trying to gain a Russian foothold in America's hemisphere. Now, just a short time ago, Venezuela's foreign minister leveled his own broadsides at the U.S., calling Mike Pompeo's tweet, quote, disrespectful and cynical. He pointed out that it was President Trump who publicly threatened military intervention against Venezuela. Now, analysts say we can expect military cat-and-mouse games to continue while those Russian bombers are deployed in Venezuela. They say U.S. forces will almost assuredly send out surveillance planes, possibly vessels, to shadow the Russians and Venezuelans. Pentagon officials will only tell CNN that they are monitoring these exercises. Experts say as U.S. planes and ships monitor these joint Russian-Venezuelan exercises, and the Russians and Venezuelans, well, they're going to gather intelligence on the Americans, on their spying and shadowing capabilities, and try to figure out how to evade them. This is the kind of cat and mouse that goes on, but it can turn dangerous in a blink. But it can turn dangerous in a blink. But it can turn dangerous in a blink. But it can turn dangerous in a blink.
And the Russians now have a reason for their paranoia. They are scared right now that they could be under attack. And here's one of the reasons. This is a map of the former USSR, which after World War II had taken control of countries like Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and so on. And then we have here the Eastern Bloc countries, Poland, Romania, East Germany, and so on. And this is what was called the Iron Curtain. And you'll notice here, the USSR, through their allies here, had direct access to the Mediterranean and access to the Atlantic through the Straits of Gibraltar, or from their bases in the Black Sea through the little straits there at Turkey, very narrow straits. Then, in 1949, NATO was created, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The US and Canada are not on this map, but basically it's the United States protecting countries that sign up with it. And the deal is that if you're a member of this organization and somebody attacks you, it's like they're attacking everybody in the organization. It's a promise to come to each other's defense should any one of them be attacked. So here we have NATO in 49, and then we've got Turkey and Greece added in 52, and then in 55 we've got West Germany and Spain in 82, and then in 1990, East Germany, the Iron Curtain retracted closer to the USSR, and Albania, a few years before, left the Warsaw Pact countries, the Eastern Bloc countries, and so the Russians lost their direct access to the Mediterranean. And then we've got 1990 to 91, the Warsaw Pact imploded, and all of the former Eastern Bloc countries that were allies of the USSR are now doing trade deals and stuff with the West. And then in 1999, the USSR implodes and they lose all of the former territories that were just like states or provinces of the USSR. They now become independent countries, and former Eastern Bloc countries of Poland and Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, and former territories. This was part of the USSR, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and now they've changed sides. They're allied with the Americans now. And then some more countries in 2009. So this is what it looks like today. This is what it looked like in 1949. And look at the buffer zone that Moscow had from everywhere, and look at where it is today. The threat is now right on their borders. And to get to the Atlantic from any port here, they have to go from the Black Sea through these straits that are now monitored by NATO countries. So their subs and their warships, and they retained this little area right here is Russia, but they've got to go through those straits at Denmark that are also monitored by NATO. And it takes 9 more hours now to get a ship from this little piece of Russia right there to the Atlantic than it used to. So they've got a good reason to think they're under threat. Russia wants war. Look how close they put their country to our military bases. They feel surrounded.
I go hard like Vladimir Putin. Go hard like Vladimir Putin. I go hard like Vladimir Putin. Go hard like Vladimir Putin. I go hard like Vladimir Putin. Go hard like Vladimir Putin. I go hard like Vladimir Putin. Go hard like Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Niggas don't know what I put in. Instead, they be out there hating that them boy, them now, them a ranting. Cause I go hard like Vladimir Putin. I'm talking that talk and I'm walking that walk. Nigga got green like Incredible Hulk. You're talking that talk but not walking that walk. Like a Muslim out you eating that pork. Looking at my other mirror. Now it's time to turn up here. Put in work like Vladimir. Yeah, I'm the hottest here. I go hard like Vladimir Putin. Go hard like Vladimir Putin. I go hard like Vladimir Putin. Go hard like Vladimir Putin. I go hard like Vladimir Putin. Go hard like Vladimir Putin. I go hard like Vladimir Putin. Go hard like Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin.
Vladimir. Astonishing admission by the Roman Catholic Church. They run the CIA. Did you know the CIA is also dubbed Catholic Intelligence Agency? Catholics in Action. Is the CIA truly American? For decades, Jesuit affiliates of the Roman Catholic Church have directed the CIA. Leon Panetta and John Brennan, the current director, are Jesuit trained. Are Jesuits today the same as Jesuits of the past? Are you familiar with the Jesuit oath? Its devious plans to control the wealth of the nations, enslave the masses, and depopulate the world. Pope Francis is a Jesuit. Should we be alarmed that the institution the Pope heads also controls the CIA? The CIA's mission is to identify and destroy terrorists and fundamentalists. Pope Francis likewise, and defines them as those who believe in absolute truth, end-time prophecies of Daniel and the Revelation, refuse to yield their liberty of conscience and give up constitutional rights. The insidious agenda of the Jesuits will soon be realized, as Pope Francis has been hailed Lord of the world and Savior of the earth.